the birth rate is declining and it's concerning and they're all nervous and all of that.
What are you concerned about?
You look good, you have all of the something there about you. Yes, Goodie!
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Goodgal podcast.
Hello, happy to be here.
You look nice. Your skin now look...
You know, somebody said that to me and I was just like, really? She said I look like I live a friend and I come on to Jamaica
vacation.
occasionally.
Okay.
I said I aspire with that.
Well, how has your week been? How has things been?
You know, I've been okay. How are we almost halfway? I don't know. Because I'm shocked.
Isn't that scary?
I'm shocked. I'm actually pretty concerned.
You know, some like concerned about the heat. Like,
yeah.
You know, so we reach global boiling. I think it's no longer global warming. It's
I
boiling.
I can understand.
Yeah.
Like, but then is it that the heat bring out mosquitoes? Come here, tell us, I'm on the sweater today, no, my love. No, I'm outside.
The place just hot, man.
It's miserable. How is it supposed to work like under these conditions?
No, the place is very hot.
I don't know. How have you been?
I've been good. I mean, just me and my dog and my godapper. You don't know.
Dynamic chair, you know.
The dynamic chair, you know. So let us jump right into the goodie of the week.
The goodie of the week.
I thought this was nice. I think this happened a while ago, but I just literally saw it on TikTok. I don't know the For You page today. The CEO of RGD got an honor walk. So you guys can watch the clip.
With my two hands in the air as far as I can.
The CEO of RGD, he got an honor walk, as you can see. So basically, his workers were, honoring him. And when I saw it, I was like, this is so nice because you do not see that in Jamaica.
It's what you call impact.
Yeah.
And I like that. And a lot of leaders or managers, I think they're leaders. They don't leave an impact. Or the impact that anything they leave is not what they think it is. It's actually quite negative and not positive.
Yeah.
And to be honored in that way, I think is impactful, and you see that he's very touched by it. And I felt like,
I felt all warm and gushy.
There's hope for us.
And then so like he's working in a government, quote unquote, because usually government workers, but not telling like, we're not following like I go through my tax office things this week. I mean, I say, I need some friends with some other work. Not everybody want to be marketer and so. I don't even work at tax office. No, I got on JP. No, man.
Oh. But I remember saying I remember saying we're aspiring to be like housewives.
That's true. That's true. But all of we can't be entrepreneur. All of we can't do that. Some people have to go work at tax office. Some people have to go down some people need to go look work at depot and then place there.
But
so we
can
like, call
what do you think they start a job being like that though? It's just made the system or the system
set up. But no, fun and joke aside, like not to stray too far. But like I thought it was really nice, and then you could see how emotional he was and all of that, and I was like, this is so nice. Like you have to really have an impact. You have to really have a rapport with people for a group of people to just like honor you in that way.
I like it. Kudos to you, because that means you're an actual leader and not just a person in a role.
Not just a person in a role, for sure. So big up yourself. So jumping right into the hot topics.
Hot topics.
Now, as you can see by the title of the episode, baby can see it on the tour.
You know what I can do? I'm rum too much.
Facts. Okay, so Jamaica's birth rate has been plummeting over the past 2 decades, leaving experts concerned about the country's, demographic future. So today we're going to be talking about, the reason behind the dramatic decline and all of that. Now, basically, the Jamaica Population Health Status Report from 2000 to 2022, it talks about the economic, social, and cultural challenges that make parenthood increasingly expensive and inconvenient for many Jamaicans. The financial burden of raising children to the shifting dynamics of family structure, right? And just so much more. So basically, they're saying that the birth rate is declining and it's concerning and they're all nervous and all of that.
What are you concerned about?
So let's start off with what that mean? Because what does it mean when a country's birth rate is declining? Naturally, there's an older population, and which is not always a great thing.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's an older population. Also too, there's and then even from a research and development, younger people are the ones who tend to, impact those industries, move industries forward, right? Succession planning for any country is important. You need young ideas, fresh leadership. Also, a lot of other economic factors that I promise they taught me in school that I can't remember right now. But I want to talk about the fact that it's a concern. And I'm like, I'm so confused by our leaders because Jamaica is just not in a state right now where you can have a child.
And I think, I don't even know, is this, because I want to say, is this a global thing or is it just unique to us?
I don't know the global statistics, but I just know that has been. I've seen this news article twice.
I've seen it too.
Twice, and then I'm like, because it came out a couple months ago that we're declining, and now it's saying that experts are super concerned.
I mean, obviously, I guess from, as you mentioned, would have been more like a economic standpoint. Mm-hmm. But all I'm saying is thank you guys for rising up.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, when I read this, I'm just like, wow, education has not failed us because people are being smarter.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
No, honestly, because when you really think about it, right? Every time I go to the supermarket, can we talk about the price of grape?
Bro, what? Why are you buying grapes?
$3,000 for grape?
Are you rich, my G?
I'm not even look for grape again. I love grape.
The only grape, wait.
Girl, anyways, back to regular programming. But no, seriously, like, just every time I go to the supermarket or I do anything, I'm like, every time I reach home, I'm just spend a bag of money. I'm gonna say, wow, I said, thank God I'm not a picnic.
It's all that. It's really a thank God moment because I think, like, even when you go to the supermarket just to pick up your groceries, you see the people who picking up their groceries for their family, and you're just like, and y'all looking at y'all pretty little bit.
All snacks.
Look at tiki.
If you're bad, look at tiki.
I don't buy no snacks.
Dear.
I don't buy no snacks.
No snacks that get dear. I'm just like,
you can't. You have to go eat a little piece of bread.
No, honestly, like,
you want snack, you just snack on that.
No, honestly, it's like, it's alarming how expensive things are now. And then on top of it too, the housing prices, right? Because you can try to buy a house for yourself. If a 1-bedroom apartment at 35 million, much less I need a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom.
But I've also come to the realization that not everybody get own a house, to be honest.
No, honestly, and that's
that's actually okay. Like it can't be that everybody will own a house.
Facts.
So it can't be that everybody would have own a car because what would the traffic be like? But it's really there are other.
But then I feel like even if you don't own a house and you don't drive a car, you should be able to still because to me, housing and transportation is a basic need. The rent prices, even if you're not, the rent and mortgage prices are legit the same.
Skyrocketing.
No, they're legit the same. There's literally so little correlation between rent and mortgage.
But then I'm just like, you guys are sending your children to school.
School. Kids even know how much am I give for lunch money?
I wonder.
Because when I was going to school, last lunch money I got when I was in. They still get lunch money up to you. Listen.
Right, did you? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Didn't we all? No, every time I tell somebody that, they're like, oh, I'm just like,
yeah, I'm sorry. That was a very ignorant statement.
Yeah, no, I got lunch money all the way into you. Like, and I'm just like, and every year it increased. Daddy, big up yourself. Big up, right? Because now that I'm like living and understand. Because I think I was getting about 2,000 a day because he used to like when I towards the end of my university.
Isn't that school late?
Huh?
You still have late class?
No, but I don't know. I think what he did was just give me like a lump sum for the month.
Oh well, yeah.
So like I don't think it was necessarily for lunch money alone. It was just to maintain myself. So he would just literally do like a lump sum of how much I should get. So yeah, he used to give me my lunch money and that was $2,000 just about. And I was talking to somebody the other day and their child, I think, is like, for high school, it was, and this was a couple years ago, $1,500 because...
Per day?
Yeah, because them take bus. So them have to take, and then it's like, I think it's like $600 just to go to school for them, where based on where they live. So it's like them have $900. So, and it's $900 for buy food. I know said that can barely buy food. I mean, I say, whoa,
that cannot, because I mean, you know, like obviously, you know that cook lunch at a school is clearly less expensive than outer road, but it's also like,
yeah, it's like I may say whoa, $600 a day just for go to and from school, and those are like the more economic areas because the Spanish towns, the Portmores, those places. Yeah, so it's like we're not a reliable bus system, we're not a school bus, we're not like it's just like not a set up for you have no picnic. Economically, I don't feel like anything is really set up in place for you have no picnic. Like, you know.
And we're not saying, guys, that we don't want to have children. We're not over here.
Oh no.
We're not saying F them kids. She's
No, I just think that I think financially, if you're not where you want to be, it's kind of hard to make a decision to say you're gonna have a child.
Or you're going to say XYZ. This is the year.
Because
blah, blah, blah.
I really want kids and I can't wait to have kids. I want a whole bunch of them. But I want a whole bunch for real, but I want to, like, I would literally have to be married and I'd have to be financially stable. Because if
God will provide. That's what I'm always say. Like,
God also
ask me,
yeah.
People love to ask about my womb.
Why them love do that? I swear they ask that so often when you have been giving kids.
Why is that? Whenever they ask when I get married, we can't marry. So we don't worry about marriage.
But you know what is crazy too? Why are we so comfortable to ask each other when you're having kids?
That's so wild.
Stop asking me that question there.
Stop. But it also leaves me. I'm segueing. Anyways,
yes.
You know how much people tell me I'm gonna say so them I say, just assume because
I know, literally, me too. I was walking, like, I had the craziest interaction yesterday, and they told me Happy Mother's Day, and I was just like, thank you, because in my head,
thanks for sure.
I just said thanks and move on, because in my head, I'm like,
explain. Okay, you can ask me why I would demand the answer.
Oh, I'm a dog mom. I gave birth to Billo, so
you know when you should I tell you.
But no, for like fun and joke aside, like literally, I feel like, and then even when you tell people. Like I was telling a police officer yesterday that he was like, oh, Happy Mother's Day, and I was like, oh, I don't have no kids yet, and he's like, wait, what? And I'm like,
you can't really take nothing.
I'm not married yet.
Is that right?
No, say it. I want to know.
You can't really. If I'm only police officer, women have like 20, you know, they have 20 kids at a time, you know.
That's true. So I guess I don't know, but you know, is a thing though in certain. But what I realized though is that when I remember doing sociology in high school and realizing that they said that why I answer? Sorry, I'm gonna check my below. I remember doing sociology in high school and they said that the in certain communities across Jamaica that if you don't have a child by a certain age, it's like you can't breed or like they look down on you. But now I'm realizing, you're barren.
No, and I think
I am calling a mule. What do you used to say? You're a mule, or something like that. Yeah.
And I think that's something that we would have, like, just as a society in general, not just Jamaica, would have thought through. Because I thought, or I still think sometimes, and I say, I have time, but then I realized that I do. Because technology has clearly advanced since then either way, as well as there are a lot more people having very safe, healthy deliveries.
Yeah.
Above the age of past 35 or whatnot.
Can I tell you something? I think, because I was talking to a friend about this the other day, right? And I was like, what doesn't affect me? You know, when I don't think whenever I hear or like I watch movies or I hear people, I understand the importance of having a child. But whenever people say that, like, that their relationship ended because they physically couldn't have a child and their husband wanted a child, or like I never understood it, because I think mothering is so much more than physically pushing out a child or a biological child. Because I strongly believe in, because I've told you before that I want to adopt. So even if I have my own kids, I plan to adopt a child as well. Yeah, because I feel like there are too much kids in the world for me to just be using my womb like true and true. So it's like whenever I see people and they're like, oh, you know, like it's such a I understand understand that's something that you want to do, but I don't know, it's just not that devastating thing for me, because I feel like you have surrogates, you have surrogates, you have adoption.
Options, yeah.
So there's, and I understand that everything has its risks and all of that. Like we know that adoption can fail through, we know that surrogacy is risky, but also having a child is like risky for your body and your health.
All of them are risky.
Every channel that you take to have a child is simply risky, right? So my thing is like, I just never understood the whole, oh my god, I can't have a child, I feel less than.
I think people are still closed-minded to all the options that are there, because there's a strong sense of, no, they need to be my seed, my creation, and I can see that point of view, but I can also see the other points of view, because there are lots of like, maybe like a stepfather or mother that would have mothered or fathered so many in such a great way with great impact. So why are we disregarding them because they're not?
And then like, just because I didn't have you, does it make you less my child? Right. No. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And so even me, like when I'm talking to God and I'm like, okay, God, I want my husband. But when I take, like, one thing I ask God for keenly is that I find a man that is open to that, like open to adoption and understanding. Like I can't marry somebody who is not open to women's issues. So like, if for example,
dark like a midnight,
like you're Afrobeat,
no, I get what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying?
And those are the men who never usually know much about the female anatomy.
Never know anything.
They don't know which body parts are where.
Because suppose like when I go to the doctor, do a checkup, and they're like, hey, you can get pregnant, but it's a high risk pregnancy. Would recommend that you do this, more than likely, whatever. Then it's almost like, for me, it's like, okay, whatever, let's move on to the next option, right? But I do understand the struggle for it, but I'm just saying that you are a mother. I think as a woman, your innate ability to mother is bigger than just pushing out a child.
I mean, somebody's mothering isn't as innate or isn't as quickly innate, though.
Yeah.
Some people get over time, like some people not just as a baby born and get this.
Yeah.
And it's over time, so that's also something that we need to be aware of as well. Because I feel like sometimes if you're not bonding with your child immediately, you're really shunned a little bit.
True.
And that's okay.
And I think having a child is just a life adjustment, like, because it's like a shock, right? When you just leave school, any new thing, you're super shocked. So like when I just left school, just started the working world, it was a shock because I'm used to, I remember the first time like I didn't get money from my dad, and I was like, wow. Like this is actually like my father not sending me money anymore. Like I was like, he
fend for yourself.
Like you literally have to fend for yourself, and then it's a shock. So I feel like anything new thing in life.
But imagine that's something you're prepared for. Imagine something you're not prepared for. Imagine you're not preparing for a child.
And you just get pregnant.
Big of an adjustment that would be mentally, physically, emotionally. Yeah. It's so many.
And it's not, and you have to literally create, and it's not just changes in terms of you personally. No. You have to create space. You have to make plans.
Family, friends too.
If for good school and them something there, you have to start register the child from the child young, all of them something there. It's just so much planning.
Are you in the right job as well? So maternity leave, like those things matter, guys. It does, I promise you. As well as so that's why when people say they don't want to have children, I think they've made a conscious decision, not like it never just happened. It's like, man, from that long time and most of that's not it. Yeah. Why do we feel that? Well, but people. They really them look at them sideways,
They look on them real sideways.
Like
they
almost like the devil.
Yeah.
Like how dare you?
Yeah.
Make a decision for me?
Yeah. No, but I feel like that's what I'm saying. If you feel like kids are not, and then sometimes too, let me tell you why that whole theory doesn't make sense. Because you have people who want to have children and literally can't. So for you to judge people who choose not to is like same as judging people who can't, because it's just two people who one of them made the decision, one physically can't. So it's like you look down on one less.
But then I think that's why I think that's also an issue, because they're saying, "Wow, look how much people
want to have kids and
you decide not to," and so it's almost they feel as though it's a slap in the face.
Yeah.
But I just feel like it's.
And let me tell you,
choice.
anytime honestly, if you don't want to have children, you really shouldn't, because children are such a big responsibility. And the worst feeling that you can give is a child is unwanted. Like if you know, say, yo, my mother never, because even I always think about like Jeannie Mai and her digital footprint about saying that her whole life she said that she didn't want a child. She didn't want a child. And she had a child.
Because he wanted a child.
I don't know. I don't know what was the situation. I'm just thinking of the digital footprint. Because if I look up like my mother,
she not look up when she at school. And
I'm just like, yo, your mother never want you. Absolutely. Like, can you imagine just knowing that and knowing that was true and knowing that like my mother never want to have a child and now she have a child? Like, to me, those emotional things sometimes I think we don't always consider. So it's kind of like.
I mean, also it's okay to change your mind. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
But I'm just saying the digital footprint is shaky. So I think when you're making a decision though between having a child and not having a child, you really need to be sure. And that's my point. Like, she said that she didn't want to have a child, but I think she changed her statement to say that she felt safe and comfortable to have a child because of her relationship. Right. But that's what I'm saying. So you didn't, but you're saying you did not want to have a child. You just weren't, you didn't feel safe and comfortable. So that's my thing with the people. So I think it's two extremes. You can't force somebody to like want to have a child, but at the same time, if the reason is like shallow and just doesn't make sense and you're just like following a trend and it's not your true feelings, then it shouldn't be forced. I think it's something that before you say I want kids or I don't want kids, you have to literally think about every single aspect of what that means. So let's talk about the social and cultural factors, right? Because nowadays, them grandparents are different. You see, I was watching, I think it was The Impact, and like Bernice Burgos, her daughter, was like, these grandparents are not like the grandparents before, because
they're not you're not going home to cookies and like you're not.
The grandmother them's right side of you, the event them. Me I go out, and I'm just like, this is so true. Like I feel like nobody know at them age. Them grandmother and our grandmother like one time.
Who said what is the age they have to have this?
No, but my thing is like, right? Because
you can't use Bernice as an example.
No, she's not a great example.
She's a young grandmother. Young. She's
not young.
I mean, fairly young.
Fairly young, yeah. I guess.
Like,
fair. But my thing is like, even there's a study, I saw it recently that said that people who grandparents who take care of their grandchildren tend to live longer.
Really?
Yeah. So
I
like,
think it's the joys,
the joys. But my thing is like a lot of these, like not even just grandparents, but when you're growing up, you have a lot of people to properly raise a child. I don't care what anybody want you say. It takes a village. Yeah. You need a community.
Agreed.
You need people who say, yo,
you can trust them.
You can trust them around each child. You can, you know what I mean? Like one of my friends now, her sister have a daughter and she literally has to travel and help her and all of that. And it's just like, it literally takes a village. It's impossible to mother without help. Like childcare assistance, all of that. And now from a social standpoint, a lot of these grandpas and grandmas are outside. You get what I'm saying? Even grandfathers.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's like also because is it that there's?
I think it's a social thing though, because I think a lot of times is that what I realize is that because why my grandmother got to grandmother me is because their generation allowed them to have a pension, retirement. People have to work.
That's true. I mean, I don't know.
People really have to be working.
I guess your life was a little bit.
And you have to remember, all of our grandparents, most of our grandparents did own them homes. Them did own them homes. They were already settled. They kind of got what they, you gonna say, and they had a pension. They had all of that. Like to like one of my uncles, my granduncles, to even when the day he died, he was still collecting pension from one factory were closed down or whatever, but the pension plan was still in place for them. And I'm just like, them little something there.
Yeah, you do. I think it's a very different. It's a stark difference.
It's a very different time.
Yeah, because they're also very busy people, and they actually do have to balance.
They have to work. They literally have no choice.
They're not staying home to like, oh no, let me pick up Johnny from school and
They have to work.
Yeah,
they're
that's so
they're
true.
not retiring at 60.
No,
they're not
no.
they have to work.
Yeah.
Them have to make a living, and you're
But
not in
then
a place. You're not even in a place where you can help take care of you. Like, you know, back in the day when you see, because like I saw my father, I saw my mother take care of her mother. I saw them do that. Me can't take care of my mother right now. You get what I say? Like, so for me go bring a child in this crazy,
Both of them.
like crazy.
But is it that you're saying that that's one of the reasons you think people aren't children?
I think it's not necessarily as encouraged because of the fact that it's almost like it's kind of hard to see yourself in a grandma, or in a community when your sister, the community is like trying to build themselves. So it's hard to see where you're comfortable enough. You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
Because it's just like you almost want to be a burden of sorts.
Yeah, you almost want to be very careful too with like, and when you're really looking at it, you don't think we should talk about though baby mother and baby father culture? Because I think what happens now is people are being way more honest about what that entails, and like now I see where people are. Because before, when I was growing up, I don't think people like, you knew it in your family, but I don't think you knew when baby father and baby mother, what that look like when things go sour, what can possibly happen, like you know what I mean? Now it's like men are openly talking about deadbeat mothers, deadbeat fathers, and I think because we are also a generation that is speaking up about our traumas, we're showing that we know what it's like to, some of us know what it's like to not have a father, not have a mother, all of that. So you kind of, I feel like no, because there's more, from a social standpoint, because there's more access to that information.
So people are more worried. So just like, I don't really want to end up
you
in
know
these
what?
problems.
Exactly.
Okay. And also because I realized that the drama is, it's almost like it now got in, or sometimes it doesn't seem like it's repairable.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's just like, oh, it goes so on, that's it. I'll just co-parenting. But I feel like, is it that you're saying that if it is that more people were married with children, it would be better? There will be more children if there are more marriages, would you think? That's a good question. That's a good question.
If there are more marriages, if there will be more children, definitely, because naturally, right? Because for example, right, you can, and like, that's what you see. Like, that's why you see man with all 4 or 5 baby mother. Because when you move on, or that's what I feel like, when you move on to another person, you can just leave and go, right? Versus if you're married, you kind of, because a lot of people, when you're married, sometimes you get pregnant and it's just like, it happened or whatever, naturally, because you're with the person, you're having sex, you're living with this person. Look how much people born after COVID, because then they just in the house together. So that's kind of showing you that, like, you know, that happens. So I think that, and then I think also too, women are, back to what I was saying with the baby father thing, like, I think women are kind of more cautious when you have a baby, because the smart women, I won't say all, but the smart women tend to probably try to have one baby daddy, or like have the same child with the same man, because even if you're not married, because of the fact that you just, you don't want to, you know what that experience is like, so you don't want to just go out there, especially if you had a bad experience with your baby father, you're more cautious the next time around. And then you know what I mean? The smart women, the smart ones.
I see your point of view, because again, as you say, it's not that you're seeing it and you're just like, I'm not sure, am I willing to make this risk, because I'm not really sure what, and then there's no, I guess, security of it all, because if it don't work out, it just really don't work out. There's perhaps less percentage of people fighting to stick together in that scenario.
And even the court system, I feel like people think of, like, even child support in Jamaica, even that, you say that you want the birth rate increase, but you now hold a lot of these deadbeat fathers and deadbeat mothers accountable, because even that, to get persons to pay like child support and all of that, it's I know a friend that was trying to do something similar, and it was just a very difficult process till she just said she can't bother, and she just never bother.
It's a very difficult situation, as well as it's also like,
Especially when the man have no set earnings. Like, him earnings not trackable by the
as well
government.
as like, is it that you don't have to pay for a lawyer to defend you in this
Yeah.
case? Like,
So when my friend was doing it, right, basically he was like, so he had like businesses like a bad dog stand, like them little thing there. So he make money, but it's not like him have like a job, a 9 to 5, where them could have said, okay, this is the amount you should pay. Based on his earnings on the books, he wasn't doing anything illegal, but you know the hustler culture that we have in Jamaica. So based on his earnings on the books, should have only get like 12 grand a month. But and it's just based on your earnings. So it's just wholly, and it took her so long to even get. And sometimes too, when the man them do show up for the court dates and all of them something there, it was just a lot. I may say,
it's a lot. It's also that, and that's
I
why
couldn't believe it. It's so hard to file for child support in Jamaica.
It is a lot, and it's just sometimes you just can't, okay, you can't deal with the animosity, as well as the backlash of the we can't believe you can't go court and. Yeah.
Also that, and I'm just like, you see, sometimes even that, like they're talking about the declining birth rate, but they're not creating systems that make it, when you have a child, that make it easier for you to parent, that make people be held accountable. Like the same thing about the child support system. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like there's accessibility to healthcare. Them little something there. Like there's a couple of free clinics, but there's no real healthcare. I think if we want people to actually have more kids, I think things need to be put in place. I think certain health insurances, from a governmental standpoint, I think taxes should be levied on certain items. So
you have to pay more tax for them to get that.
For sure, right? I get that, but that's what I'm saying. Or reallocation of funds. Maybe the option, I don't think the first option with everything should be me paying more taxes, but maybe that's a personal thought. I think a reallocation should happen, because if you see that something is a problem, you come to we and your report say the birth rate low. So if the birth rate low, okay, maybe I need to take the taxes off diapers. Maybe I need to think about things that will make it easier to access.
And also like a deep dive into what is the cause.
What is the cause?
Because I'd love to know too what that study looks like.
I
hope they're doing that.
I really love to know.
Because we're just here
vibing about our thoughts.
We're just assuming.
We're just assuming everything.
But we don't know.
But we can just speak from our perspective about like why we wouldn't right now. So I think a lot of women are making the choice, and
I think the last thing that I thought came to mind is that I think a lot more women are focused on their careers.
That's true.
And so it's not there's no huge dependency on men as in previous years. And so because we are now more independent to some extent and really want to gain that independence to our own careers and jobs, the focus is really that, and it's like trying to carve out the time perhaps maybe to do that, because I mean there's no real damage to a man's career when he has a child.
Sure.
If you pause for a good couple of months or whatever, you may not even come back to the same role that you have.
Even that, like, you know what, that's so true. Even that, a lot of women go on maternity leave and just don't come back to them same job. Like, legally, then put you back in the company, but you're not at the place. It's almost like you're literal, and so much has gone on that's different. And there's so many women with that story where the company take them back for a couple months and then they end up being moved to another department or let go or something like that. Or it's like, so it's just a lot of factors to think about. It's a lot of factors. And even the maternity leave, some of the companies is really not enough. You have to stack your vacation with your maternity. So you have to be like, you know you need to go to your doctor's appointment. You know you need to be doing all of that.
That's true.
And you have to be literally, we know women who have to, and most women who I know have a baby while at work, they have to stack up their vacation days.
Because you also don't want to just give birth oops and then come back.
And then come back,
assimilate and get to know and
but childcare, all of that, it's just super.
I think childcare is also one of the major, I would want to say, deterrents, because I think in Jamaica, when you think about people who probably that live overseas and they have children and they don't have a family member over there to take care of their children, like they bawl about how expensive that shit is. And they end up being stay-at-home moms for quite some time until they're able to afford to do childcare because that is expensive.
Yeah.
It's expensive there, agreed, but it's more access to childcare there. Here, it's not as expensive, I don't think, in comparison to both. But I also think that there's not enough options.
Yeah, and then also too, it just depends on your, as you say, your socioeconomic background. Because for example, if you live in a family home, it's not like anybody can just come in there and just start taking care of your child, or you know what I mean. Like you have to have a babysitter, quote unquote. Usually it's a family member, because to have a babysitter, quote unquote, and just bring them into your yard like that is not. I just know, maybe it's a cultural thing. It's just not our way.
I realize that a lot more people are doing that now, though.
No, a lot are, yeah.
Because again, it comes back to the grandparents are not.
They're not
have the time.
They don't have the time. They're work. They're working. They're working. So I don't know. So what you saying? Next year for the baby?
Yeah, man. I'm enjoy my summer.
But seriously though, I think I applaud us, and I think that I don't think you should have a child until you are financially in a place that you need to be. I think having a child and growing a child in poverty is very, very selfish.
Not poverty. Ooh, child.
It's true. What do you think about that? That's my last question on this topic, because some people say that what do you think about people who say that poor people shouldn't have children? Because there's that topic as well that they say that, you know, poor people shouldn't have children.
I should be speaking on poor people. I don't know.
Yeah.
They shouldn't, or should
they shouldn't. Some people saying they shouldn't, and then the people who say that, saying that they shouldn't, is eugenics, meaning that you're trying to control the population and da 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 da. I wouldn't go as far as saying they should not. I think they should be more cognizant of how many. Yeah. Why am I going to? No, like having a child is a blessing at the end of the day, really. I must just be talking all this information. So me, if I tell you, say you must bring a blessing onto this earth. No. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it too. I feel like because I feel like poor is relative. It is. Like poor is relative. So whenever I hear that topic, I'm like, I don't know, because what do you call poor? I feel like if you literally cannot afford food, like, because when we say poor, sometimes, you know, like you're poor, but you're not destitute. I feel like I feel like destitution, where like you literally have no home. Right. You have people. You're not going to school. You can't afford to do anything. You can't whatever. But you know that to be honest with you, if you think like people of lower income, they're taken care of to some extent. Meaning, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said poor is relative. Yeah, so that's why I said whenever I hear that topic, I'm like, they're not gonna die from poverty. Yeah. There's nobody here that dies from poverty per se. Like directly from I have not eaten. Yeah. So I just think that as I said, like I don't know that unless you're destitute, because like sometimes you see some story up on the news and you see like a lady with no house and she asking for help or something like that. You hear those stories sometimes. But then there might be a circumstance surrounding that. Yeah. Yeah. That's true, because something probably happened that led to that. But yeah, that's why I say it's kind of hard to say that, because you can have a child in a really good situation and then you end up in a bad situation. So it's kind of hard. Like I get where people are coming from. I don't think what I think is irresponsible is if you know you can't afford to take care of a child and you keep having them. I think that's where the irresponsibility comes in. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. That is our hot topics for this week. And jumping into our listener letter.
Listener letters.
So, what is something you used to buy and you just can't afford anymore? So somebody asked me that this week, and I thought it would be a perfect listener question, because it started to like make me ponder on things that like I used to could afford and I just can't now. What's the context of that question? So it was just we were just talking about how expensive things are now. Okay. So it was more like, you know, things that you used to genuinely enjoy that you just can't enjoy anymore. Like, so I was like, my number, I'm gonna tell you already, grape. I used to, because I'm a girl, right? I like simple fruit. So I love a banana, a grape, because it's easy, an apple. Like, you don't have to like, you see like orange where you have to do one bag of spiral with the knife and all of that. And I don't like none of them something. The pineapple, I have to peel, all of that. Yeah, I don't want any of that.
So it's grapes.
Huh?
It's grapes.
It's grapes, banana, apple, right?
No, as in, what's the thing?
Oh no, the thing is, grapes is one. Lobster. I love lobster. I can't afford it. And I think I eat sushi way less now.
I don't buy anymore.
So it's just something you just know, so you can't buy it. Like it used to be just like whatever. I know it's like a luxury.
I'm really trying to think about it deeply.
You haven't made an appearance in a while. Work. Talk. Come on, you can talk, you know. Talk. For those on audio, below is here.
Wow, what is... I think in general, actually, it's eating out as much.
That's a good one.
Because I'm not going to lie to you. I used to be like, yo, come on, eat some food now.
Yeah, that's true.
I used to do that like almost like 3 times a week.
That's so true.
And so I think that's something I'm just like, let me dial that back a bit. But I wanted to myself, sometimes I wanted to myself, you know, so I wonder if I didn't live a friend, like, if I would be one of those Uber Eats girlies.
Oh, for sure. I know I would. I know I
Like, that's it. Would I be? Like,
no, I know I would.
But it's definitely eating out.
Yeah, eating out.
Eating
Yeah,
out.
for sure. I know what I start to do too. Like, I realize I don't just shop at any gas station. I have to buy cheap gas. I can't buy dear gas. But make sure so like I know that's like on a Friday I'm always in Crossroads, so I try to get cheap gas.
But I would definitely say eating out.
Eating out. Okay.
And me, I cooking on. I cook and bring lunch.
When you I definitely
like me cook. I'm in my cooking bag.
When you see me cook, you know say if there's one thing I don't like to do is cook. Like I do not like to cook. Like seriously, when I tell you I'll clean, I'll iron, I'll do everything, but cook. Like oh my gosh, I just literally cannot stand being in the kitchen.
It's a lot.
I can't like it, and then by the time you don't cook, you don't want to eat no more.
No, I eat.
That's why I have to cook
what
on
I
like
don't
Sunday.
want to do is
I have to cook for the week
up.
on Sunday, so like I just do
like
one big
cooking.
Up.
I don't like the cleaning
and
up.
That's what I can't bother with. Jeez,
Can me just have, me feel like is that endless super washing dishes. Like I cook lunch, yeah, wash, yeah, cook dinner, yeah, wash. Man, so me just want, but I want a clean house, so all the time I work.
Yeah.
Wash the pot them.
No, one thing I know I have to have is a chef or somebody to cook for me. That's one thing I know. Like there's
You've
that's
always
one thing.
said this.
I've always
That's
said
your
this.
luxury.
That's my luxury.
You know the question. When I become rich, you see it.
Yeah, that's a luxury. If I listen, somebody to just come and cook for me every day.
What would mine be?
Literally, that's all. Jeez, I can't wait. Like can you imagine? I just say, hey, I want this and this and this
It's not
week.
even that. Like you think I'll plan out for the week already.
You just plan out for the week. You just come home to a cooked meal and a clean kitchen.
Yeah.
Oh God, we're ready, lad.
I think my thing would be having a driver.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
I don't love to drive.
I don't know. I don't mind driving.
I don't love to drive.
No,
but if I could passenger princess
all the time, I see that.
Me.
I see that.
But you'd have to be like,
I'm too much of a
I don't want to
freak.
wait. No, here's the thing. This is my caveat. I wouldn't want to have to wait though, you know. So if my services are being your time it properly or you're staying or whatever, like me not.
So you want like at least you're a chauffeur, so not a driver, like a chauffeur.
Right. Like
a chauffeur.
Wait.
So he's like sitting in the car waiting.
Wait,
All
when
right,
we don't do what I do.
That makes sense. All right, I see that. I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. And parking is so annoying now.
I'm just
in
and out.
You know, I literally not go to somewhere if they don't have parking. I'll dress up, go, and like if it don't have no parking,
I'm not
out.
It's all. That's always my question. Like, who's the parking? And I'm not parking on the roadside.
I'm not doing it. Nope.
Shouty.
And if it's too far a walk, nope. Walk? Oh, me? I'll literally drive between plazas in half a tree just not to walk.
I don't go. I don't go. No, I don't.
Well, that was a Goodgal podcast. We will see you next week. Bye.